buzz like going into this game, and it hasn't been affected at all by being an all-SEC affair here?
Well, it's in Atlanta, so all SEC is perfect. They love it here. They're so happy that there's two SEC teams. It's a bunch of people going, real football in this game. None of them Yankees playing it. No, I mean, that's what people who live here want to see, an SEC on SEC game. So if this had been next year and this game was in the Bay Area, there would be zero buzz about the game. But here in the capital city of the South, they're pretty happy there's a couple SEC teams.
What about beyond Atlanta there? Do you think the game's suffering a little bit of a lack of buzz because there isn't one prominent star or personality?
Oh, the ratings will probably stink because, look, let's face it, these are two teams from, one quarter of the country. So the other three quarters of the country probably going to tune out unless they are just diehard college football fans. And, that's going to happen. That's sort of the risk you run when you have a playoff. It's funny, all these conspiracy things, if they rank, if they did this thing for ratings, if they rigged it for ratings, you would always have an Alabama against an Ohio State or a Georgia against a Notre Dame or a Texas against USC, where you get multiple parts of the country involved. It's just, this is how it went down. Georgia beat Oklahoma, Alabama beat Clemson, and this is the matchup they got.
Now on the field, bettors favoring Alabama in the game. From being around both teams, does Bama feel like the favorite and Georgia the underdog?
No, it's funny because both teams are trying to play the underdog card, and Alabama has played it really hard pretty much since they were put in the playoff as the 4 seed, especially against Clemson. Even though they were favored by Vegas, the players acted like they were underdogs. The coaches hit them hard with the nobody thinks you can win, even though Vegas thinks you can win. And so they're doing the exact same thing again this week. They're playing the we don't get any respect card, even though everyone respects them a whole lot. But both teams are doing that, and it's probably not an accident. Kirby Smart, Georgia's coach, was Nick Saban's defensive coordinator for 8 years.
Yeah, as we look at that record, Nick Saban against some of his coordinators, 11-0 going into this game. Andy, Alabama the favorite, as we mentioned. You've picked Bama to win this game. If Alabama
I have no confidence in that
lose,
pick.
Yeah. if Alabama was to lose this game, give me the major reason why that's going to happen.
Well, it would be Alabama's defense reverting back to what we saw against Auburn and not what we saw against Clemson, because this was a team that was not a great pressure team all year. And then against Clemson, they suddenly become a quarterback sacking machine. They sacked Kelly Bryant 5 times. If they sack Jake Fromm 5 times, they're going to win this game. But if they're the team that couldn't really get pressure on the quarterback most of the year, then Jake Fromm's going to have some time to make some throws. I still think Sony Michel might be able to get loose against this defense, even though very few backs have success running against Alabama's defense. I think Michel's a fairly unique talent. There aren't many guys who could possibly get the edge on Alabama's defense going outside. He's one who might be able to do it. So it's really up to Alabama to just be disruptive up front. Blow up running plays, get in the quarterback's face. They do that, they'll win. If they can't, Georgia's going to win.